have the guts to be where you want to be. You need people like me.
Welcome to another episode of Los Chingones Podcast with your host, Ray Gonzalez.
Oscar Benitez.
And today we're in Savage Elite Fitness recording. We like to switch around our studios, make it different, not let you guys know where we're at all the time. But we're here at Savage, and I think it's only right to do it here because we got another CEO in the building himself, Sharp and Dapper owner, Ulysses Benitez. What's up, Ulysses?
What up, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, appreciate you coming by. I know you're a busy man, and you know, I totally understand kind of that work ethic that you got going on, and for you to make time. And obviously, it's 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So you know,
It's pretty early, but that's
Hello,
the
that's
only way
nutrido.
that it works. And then I only had like an hour of sleep, to be honest. So if you guys see some bags, I've been working a lot.
it's 7 a.m. So we all might look a little tired, but it's all good. We're here. We're getting, like I said, we got that work ethic. We're here. We're here to talk about just that and then some. So obviously, let everybody know who you are. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that know who you are, but just let people know kind of who you are right now. Yeah.
All right, so right now, I mean, obviously, you know, they introduced me Ulysses Benitez. Really, my journey started off as a barber, so we can start with that. I started right out of high school, so it was like 2011, 2012, and then it kept going. So, like, every year I was progressing. So, you know, the barber part happened fast, like, every year. And then I got my barber shop in 2017, thankfully. And then from then on, I just built my team. And then now I'm living in LA, so it just was very short, you know? And then boom.
Quick.
And I'm there now. So, right now I'm doing a little different. You know, I'm not really cutting hair as much. I feel like, you know, that work ethic, you know, I built it there. I think that's really what taught me the grind. But now I'm applying that grind to other things in life.
Exactly.
And I think it's like breaking some barriers because there's so much out there you can do. So it's like sometimes you don't know what you're capable of until you step in.
Getting comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know
you
what
have
I'm
to
saying?
get uncomfortable. So now, you know, I have the Sharp and Dapper brand. Obviously, it started off as a shop, like I said. And then I built the product line. And then I've been developing that. And then now a little bit on the YouTube side because that's what my wife does.
Okay.
So I've tried to transition, but it's hard. You know what I mean? Especially when you cut and, like, let's say you here at the gym, like, for you to transition to something else and get that energy.
It is.
It's a little, you have to train yourself to really do that.
And it's totally different. I could understand that part as far as like, you know, me being here in the gym. I put so many hours here in my business to get it to where it's at right now where, you know, we can do things like this, you know, work with and venture out with other people like Oscar and things like that. And it's like I said, it's just that work ethic that you got to put in there to get to that. But yeah, man, totally understand that part.
That's about it, man. I mean, in the YouTube world and with what my wife does, it's like every day is unpredictable. So, you know, some days I'm working on the brand, some days I'm helping her, and then I have 2 babies at home. A husband. So
yeah, so
we got that side of the story too.
Yeah, so like I'm a new father too. So we just had a baby in May, and it's like it's been totally different. Like I'm used to like getting up early, which I still do, but it's like getting up at 5, coming to the gym, doing coaching. To this transition we did now, where I don't really come and coach the classes or do what I do as much anymore. It's more like I'm trying to like get up, kind of help my wife with the baby, but then I also started creating this other brand too, and that's what I was trying to talk about, like, you know, trying to venture out something else because I'm a big coffee fan, and I started my own coffee brand, and it's slowly picking up. But again, it's hard to give all your energy to something that's like new, where something that you're already good at is kind of like you don't want to like take that away from it.
Yeah, but you have to sometimes in order to grow because
exactly,
you know, if not, it's not gonna happen for you.
Exactly,
Not,
for sure.
I mean, of course, like if I could have just had my shop and be okay and still cut.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be doing the same thing, and that's why I always tell Oscar, you know, you gotta, you know, start your brand, and
Exactly.
you gotta make money while you're sleeping too, you know, because after what if you get injured, you can't train.
Exactly.
Or, you know what I mean? Like you have to start thinking about those things, especially when we get older and shit.
And that's the thing, like you're thinking ahead you're thinking like 5 years in the future, something happens. Like you gotta, we don't like to think about sometimes because we kind of like, oh, you know, whatever, like it's not gonna happen to us. And then it's a possibility it can happen, and you like say you want to make money while you sleep.
Nothing's promised, but I think once I have my firstborn, it automatically clicked. Like, you know, damn, I need to do something because I know I'm gonna be home more, and I wanted to be home more. But how can I be home and make up for that, you know, money or just to be productive in general? Because I don't really like to sit around. So, you know, I started the brand and it slowly picked up, but it takes time because it wasn't successful. Even if you have a platform, even if you have the followers, like you have to like give it the effort, and then little by little people have to see that it's a legit thing and that you believe in it, and then they start, you know, you'll get that energy from
it's having that patience, you know. Eventually it comes.
Yeah, I mean, I try to give Oscar advice, but you know, sometimes I think, man, he is younger. So
well, you know what the thing with Oscar too though, like he's a smart guy. And I tell him too, because like I started my business when I was like, you know, shit, I started training at 18 years old. You know, and a lot of times when you walk in as a trainer, 18 years old, you're like this skinny kid, and like you walk in, and I had to get my foot in the door like at 24-hour fitness, and I was like, I don't know anything about this. Like I got my cert, and like I just knew I wanted to do it, and I walked in, and I remember it was just kind of like, you know, like go on the floor and talk to people, and it was like, oh shit, like what the hell? Like I got to go tell this 40-year-old guy how to work out. Like it's kind of weird, but then you just got to find your way, and it was, you know, I'm glad that I had that stepping stone to kind of start there, but it just takes, like I said, it's putting time in the game and developing, because there's really levels to it. You don't see it, but there's really levels to everything. You know,
it's about the environment who you're around too. I mean, I feel like ever since he came here, he's been a lot better. Mentally, and then like I see his stuff. So I always used to tell him he's had his tenacity fit for a long time, you know. But I feel like he had a lot of other stuff going on.
I changed it
and I always try to tell
times.
him, but you know, to me, I mean, it's different when it comes from a sibling, because you don't see it.
It's
the same, but I don't even tell him anything now, because I'm like, you know what, he's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, and I think
it's
the same thing too. Like I have a younger brother, and we were both in the fitness industry, and then it got to the point where he wanted to do his own thing, and again, it took some time, but he's killing it now. He's got his own place, he's got a baby, married. So you know, it's just like it's like that. You being that older brother, kind of like working towards something, and then like you kind of want the same. You want everybody in your family to succeed. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, Oscar's been like killing it here. Like when he came here, and I remember like first talking to him, because we did a podcast first, just kind of knew him through a friend here, and I was like, oh, let's do a podcast. Another fitness guy, like, and then like I thought he was like, I told him all the time, like I thought you already had like a gym or something. I just didn't know.
That's what everyone would tell me.
Like Tenacity Fit, because I used to see Tenacity Fit, like you said, it's been up for a while, and I was like, oh, that must be. I was like, man, what is that? And then I was like, oh, he told me he was working at some other gym, and I was like, oh,
a couple.
Yeah, I was like, I never even heard of that gym, but I was like, cool. And then like it just kind of sounded like it wasn't going very. I guess it seemed like they weren't using his full potential,
and I wasn't taking it seriously.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I mean, he just wasn't able to expand, because he was still in shape, and that was a good stepping stone. That's where he started, and then he kind of stayed stuck there for a while, and he was still working on the brand. But when you're being held back by a place that's, you know, obligating you to be there. You know, you're not happy. You have to put in certain hours. And once he's left there and then started doing his thing, you know, I told him, you got to build your platform. And now with Tenacity Fit, like, don't just focus on training people. Like, you got to think about the other people that follow you that do want to actually pay for that workout plan or whatever the case may be. So you have to build the online platform, and then now you start reaching people. You know, so it's dope to get the support, because you're always gonna get more support from the outside.
No, yeah, for sure. That's where that hell yeah.
That's true. Here locally, you get support, but it's, you know, not everybody's gonna be training 365 days out of the year.
And it's to an extent, because you know you can reach so many people online nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like if you create something and people purchase it, you know, you got the followers. If you develop something that you know is needed, in which you know fitness, obviously as us as fitness trainers, there's people need it, people want it. You know, as long as you put it in the right package and get it out there to them, they're gonna purchase it. So again, it's like making that money when you sleep.
Especially now, like everything's online.
Yeah,
everyone's trying to work out at home.
Yeah,
so
and that's things we talk about. Like, I mean, obviously, Oscar, you can be the one to say, like, I mean, I tell you, hey, build that. You know, and didn't I just tell you yesterday? Like, it's funny you brought that up, passive income. We had just told you yesterday, like, you know, like me as the owner, regardless if I come in or not, I'm still making money. You know what I'm saying? And I told them, like, you know, like, with this podcast we got going on, I was like, man, just going out and about, like, someone's got to think, like, okay, Oscar might not be able to, like, you know, certain things, like, he's got to work sometimes to, like, make his money. And I'm like, I got to help him figure out a way to be able to make passive income. And that's why I tell him, make your ebooks. And I was like, hey, man, make sure you do that Tenacity thing. We've been talking about, like, make that clothing brand, man, because, like, even with these podcasts, we can be handing things out to people.
Yeah, it just it helps, you know, especially with the workout plans. You could just be like, I'm going to give you guys, like, a shaker cup, a shirt with whatever you purchase, you know, promos. There's a lot of things that go into it. And then on top of that, more than anything, I mean, I think when the quarantine hit, I was like, man, you got to get on it right now. Like,
that was crazy.
Man, imagine if he actually did it the year before that I was telling him, he would have been ready to go.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I mean, at least there was 2 quarantines. He kind of figured it out, but you know, I think before that he was partying the first quarantine.
Oh my god!
Hey, you know what's funny? And that's what Jesse told me when I was like, when I was bringing him in. He was like, he's a good guy, man, but he was like, he likes to party, so just make sure. And I was just like, so hopefully, he doesn't party too much. And I'm like,
I told Jesse my mileage is at like 200 miles already, so 200,000 miles. So now I'm like,
He broke it in there.
Yeah.
no, so that's cool. So I know like we're kind of getting
It's a
into,
little troquita.
now we're getting into like the brotherly thing right now, which I think is pretty cool. I think people want to hear that. So like, how were you guys? Let's go back a little bit into the time. Like, how were you guys? How was you guys growing up? I think obviously, you have a business, you have that work ethic. Obviously, Oscar, I know Oscar has it in him. Like I said, he's young, but I know I could see it in him. I could see it's like a young myself. When I started, it's just because when he came in, bro, he was hustling right away. He was bringing clients and everything for himself. But how was that work? Where does that work ethic come? You as a younger kid growing up, like how was that?
I think our parents, but I mean, with him, I feel like he looked up to me and my older brother a lot, and now he picks up some from each of us. But I think our parents, my mom was always a workaholic. My dad's always, on his grind too. I think it was just something we saw all the time, And I mean, thankfully, we've all established something because, my brother, he graduated from Sac State. Accountant.
Okay.
And he's legit with that. He graduated from UOP, so me, it was a little different because I had to be more of the younger entrepreneur. You have to make your parents be like, yo, this is going to work out. So, I don't know. I just picked it up from there, but I feel like him seeing me and our talks at times, maybe he picked that up, So it's good to have it there. I think it goes a little, I don't even know the word, not underappreciated, but sometimes you have it so close to you that you kind of oversee it.
Yeah.
But then we're here right now, and let's say he hears it, he's probably like, oh, shit. He's just like you or like the other guys we talk to. So
Exactly.
it's dope.
Exactly.
I mean, other than that, he was a crybaby growing up.
I was waiting for the low blow.
There was one time my mom was taking us to school.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was in the car. I forgot what grade I was in, but I would always have my mom with chocolate.
Hey,
so, bro, we were literally about to pull up at school.
And my mom didn't bring it, so then we were already at the school, and he had to have his damn mamila, so we had to go back home.
I fucking
we were all late, we were all mad, and it's just little stuff that you remember as a kid.
Oh, man, big time crybaby.
And this is where you guys are in Stockton? Because you guys grew up in Stockton, right?
We've always been here.
Yeah, born and raised in Stockton our whole life. Yeah,
Okay.
So, I mean, thankfully, all of us weren't too split apart with the age. I don't know with your brother how much apart you guys are, but we were all at least like 2.5 years or so. So it was a good gap. And then imagine those times from like, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Like it was fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's how me and my brother were like a year apart, so it was just like similar.
The younger brother, you always pick on him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they go through a stage where they want to be like you.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where he picked up basketball and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So talk about basketball. You played basketball.
Yeah, so I played basketball. So really my first passion was drawing. So I used to be into art a lot as a kid. So I used to draw all the time. And then my mom, there used to be a art school right here on Pacific Avenue in Stockton.
Okay.
And they closed it down, but I used to go like every Wednesday and Friday, I think.
And you talking about drawing, like pencil drawing and shit like that?
Yeah, like pastels, like watercolor, everything you could think of. So that was my first thing. And then I transitioned into basketball. So that was like, all right, now this is my full-time passion. Boom, everything about it.
Because I want to be the next Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
No, that's the same thing. Bro.
That's the thing.
I played basketball too.
So I'm in the NBA.
Yeah.
That was a mindset.
One time it was funny.
I think you're in the bench.
I remember I started, I was doing the YMCA.
Okay.
And then I jumped straight into high school basketball. So that was a big transition because now they were playing full court.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got the ball on a full court press, I was like, what the hell's going on? I got trapped and I was like, oh, shit.
Especially all these kids that are already playing like in the AAU.
Yeah.
So
it is
elite.
different. So that was a big shock. So, I mean, could it have been different if maybe I was a little trained better in those younger years? Probably I could have been a little adapted a little easier and got some more playing time because I felt like I was always good. It's just the coaching in the schools you go to matters a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes like our first freshman coach was the football coach. And we didn't even have a coach until he had to pop in last minute.
You're like football coach.
So then imagine he got all the football players on the team and then I didn't get all the
favoritism. Bro, that's what happened.
So that
to me
happens
too,
a lot. And then I jumped into AAU. I got better that summer.
Okay.
Sophomore year. And then after that, bro, I was like 16, 17. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah. Like, it's wasting my time.
Like, let me just start working.
Yeah.
So then I started working at the mall. It was like a little side job. And I was literally just selling sunglasses. So that was like the first encounter, like customer service.
Okay.
And then from there, I quit and I started cutting full time.
So what got you into the cutting game, man? I'm going to be a barber. Like, what kind of like
Okay, so my mom used to cut her hair growing up.
Okay.
We always had the tools at the house. So she used to cut her hair. She used to like cutting it. She just had
It used to be horrible,
And
bro.
so that's so everybody
No,
listening.
hey,
That's where you everybody listen. That's where Ulysses got his cuts from his mom. You know what I'm saying?
for
He
real.
got the blends and all the stuff.
Hey, when she would say it's time for a haircut, oh man, I hated it, bro. You're like, she's like, stop moving.
I swear.
That shit's funny.
She'll literally like put her
She'll
head down.
crack
Like, so,
Yeah, that's crazy because my mom my mom actually had a beauty salon, barber shop.
Oh, really?
She's
Cool.
cut hair since like we're babies, bro.
so
like
you're used to that environment.
yeah, super cuts. She started at super cuts for like when we were like little, and then she opened her own salon in Oakland because we used to live in Oakland. That's where we're from, and before we moved out here, and she had her salon for years, and like it was straight in the hood, bro. There was drug dealers in the corner, like literally prostitutes in the corner right there. It was like what? Like it was crazy, yeah.
But I mean, honestly, a lot of people, even in those areas, like they still respect the businesses.
Yeah, they
so
do.
That's a good thing.
They want to look fresh with the
yeah.
fades, bro.
Exactly. They support what's there. But I mean, my mom had it there, and then I literally started with him. It's like the funniest story. I never forget it because we had a basketball game. So this is when he started to be like, oh, I want to play too. So I had to train him a little bit. So I want to say we happened to be. I think this was when he first started. So maybe he was like in the 8 to 10 year old.
Yeah, I think I was like 8.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? You need a haircut. My mom was lazy because she was like, man, I got to cut 4 people. My dad, my 2 brothers, and me. So I said, screw it. So I got the little peanut clipper.
Okay, yeah,
And I was like,
small
let me start out
gravy.
with the lineup. And then I give him the little line.
Ooh.
And right away, I was like, oh, damn. Like, it felt natural. But
Okay.
I think that's when the art.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So the precision was there.
There you
And
go.
I was like, okay. And then I said, screw it, let me do the rest. So I ended up giving him a fade, but I kid you not, there was a line like all the way through.
Oh, so you can see.
So you could.
He got the
so, you know,
Maluma haircut, bro. You started the Maluma haircut.
Yeah, so we gave him the fade, and you could just see a hard line. And I was like, man. So I was like, how do we fix this? But tell me why I got a Nike headband for the game, and I just put it.
Oh, hey, bro, you be all right, man.
Oh, I still remember that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That was-
Hey, at least he had you covered, bro. He didn't want to let you go out there like that.
Hey.
Hey, but after that, I just kind of kept giving him those all evens with the lineup. But I mean, I was pushing the line back for sure. You know, there's a funny video right now on Instagram. It's like a kid and his brother's lining him up, and he pushes him back.
Bro, it's
shit.
horrible.
And then they look at each other in the mirror, and the kid's like, "What did you do?"
On live, bro. On live, cried.
Yeah, he's crying
fucked up.
live. But I remember that happened with him, so that's why that video was so funny to me. But I just kind of kept going from there, and then kept practicing on like
Got the
family
barber
members.
videos too.
I
The
started
barber.
my YouTube in 2011 actually, so I had a YouTube video of my setup in the garage. and
Oh,
then,
yeah.
it took me a minute to really be like, okay, I'm good enough to get people in here. After I got like friends and family in, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, now I could actually start getting some clientele. So I took my time with it because I didn't really want to get somebody in and fuck them up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, now I'm not gonna retain the client. So, I was just practicing, and then little by little, I was in Delta actually, and I decided to just stop. I was probably like, I needed a couple semesters to get my AA, or my associate's degree, but I was like, nah, you know what? Let me focus on cutting. So I went to barber school, got my license pretty quick, and I think after that, man, I think when I focused 100% on it is when I started to be like, okay, I'm getting better. I'm buying more tools, investing in the stuff. And I just kept going from there. Started off at after I got licensed, I started at a little Mexican lady beauty salon.
Okay, yeah.
But that didn't work out. So that was my first time working somewhere, and it just wasn't working because the lady, it was cool and it was close to home, but she wanted to get more than she asked for, you know?
Yeah.
After she started seeing, oh damn, this kid's, kind of booked.
Yeah.
So then I went over to another spot, same situation in the hood, beauty salon, all ladies.
Yeah, you're like, fuck it.
So it worked out because a buddy of mine was there. So that was dope that he was there, and he helped me out a lot. He took me under his wing. But I was very independent from that because I didn't want to go there right away because I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
But he went under. I learned a lot with, the clients, like everything you could think of, like he taught me. And as far as the skill, I just kind of kept getting better at it. I already had it when I went in there, and I just finessed it with him.
Okay.
And then next thing you know, a couple years later, I get my shop. So I really didn't I didn't work with that many people until I had my shop.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge because now you have to be a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good at cutting. You have skills and all that, but like, how are you gonna manage a team? Like, how are you gonna get them under you to be like, yo, I gotta respect this guy because he's the owner, but I look up to him too, so I want to get better.
So what was the transition, man? What made you want to go from like just a haircut, a barber to opening up your own studio? Because obviously that's a big jump. Like, I'm gonna be pretty much like I'm doing my own thing with my own staff, pay the bills, pay the rent, like take care of everything, the taxes, like everything. Like, what made you like take that jump, or were you always like, I'm gonna get my own shop?
Well, I had the mentality that was the goal, right? Like I mean, I feel like every barber, that's their goal, but not everybody's cut out for it, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, some people, like, bro, if you're showing up lazy and all this stuff, like, you got to start changing those things, because you are the example for these other guys. And I think that even shows to this day, because every time I come into town, I still cut a little bit, and they like to see that you can tell the environment changes when I'm in there, which is dope. But I mean, I always wanted to do it, and then that's when, around that time is when I started dating my girl, and she was right away like, you know, you're good, like, I think you should, like, get on it, you know, like, try to open up your shop, like, soon. And she's a year and a half older, so I feel like it does matter when they are a little older than you, because they're already on their own stuff, and they're kind of pushing you, so that, I think, pushed me a lot, you know, ahead. And yeah, within like a year, I said, all right, cool. Next year, boom. And then I actually opened it after we got married, because the plan was to do it before we got married.
Yeah.
But that marriage part, as far as like the wedding goes, is such a headache that I was like, yeah, let me take my time with this. So maybe I could have opened it a year sooner, but I think it was at the perfect time, man. But it does require more of you, for sure. You know?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the staff that you get, you start seeing how people's behavior is, their vibes. All that stuff's important.
Yeah, because
a team.
You're setting, because you have your own tone, you have your own vibes. Like, when you're there, people feel your presence. They're like, that's so and so right there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And like, all of a sudden, you're not there anymore. And we're gonna get into this. Obviously, you going to LA now and like transitioning. I think that's gonna be a good conversation too. But you know, you being there, and then all of a sudden, like, when you're not there, it's kind of like a whole like, is it the same vibe? Obviously, it's not going to be exactly the same. You're never going to replicate you, never going to replicate me or Oscar. Everybody's going to be themselves, but that vibe that you want there, how can you sustain that? And how have you been able to sustain that at your shop?
I think just establishing the standard from day one, more so like having some type of system that you work through, and you adapt and you improve it with time. But I right away started with a game plan, like a contract for everybody. So it was like I wrote it out and I said, okay, this is what I expect from you. This is what we're about here. You're working for a brand, not a shop. You get me? Like, so everything was on paper, and it's like, oh, damn, it's legit, you know? So right away you get the seriousness from them. Like, oh, damn, this guy likes to have meetings. It's a contract. And then we work on it. So I started developing the guys. Like, I don't really ever care for the talent, because you could have 10 U's or me's or Oscars, but then the egos come in, and then it's just like basketball, like, for real.
Egos,
Like, you know, like, look at the 96 Bulls team. Okay, you have Michael Jordan, but everybody else had the role.
Yeah.
And they all played it when they had to.
And they were all legit players. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all knew they were good, but at the same time, like I said, they all knew their roles. They knew what they had to do to get to where they needed to get.
Yeah, right. So you have Rodman doing all the little stuff. You know, he never scored points, but he was doing everything else. Yeah. And then if you pass it to Curry, he's going to knock it down.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like you just have to have the right pieces, and for sure the mental part of it. And then after that, man, I mean, just I developed it and helped these guys out. So it's dope to see now, even the guys that don't work there anymore, I'm happy to see that they take the things that they learned there. You know, some of them have, you know, literally every person, I think 3 now have opened up their own shop after me. So they're it's almost like it's like college.
Yeah.
They're just ready to go.
It's like pretty much it's you go to you, and then from there it's like you stay here, or you're gonna open something from here, because you're gonna learn a lot. So that says a lot.
And honestly, to me, it's like, man, like I'm my goal isn't to keep you here forever, but it's to hold that relationship there forever, and to see that these things last forever, that you do learn. So now it's dope to see that they're ready for that next step. And I tell them that from day one, because I'm like, bro, I mean, I'm not expecting you to stay here forever, but take advantage of everything that you can. And it's good to see that the system is working, because now they, you know, a lot of them kind of have that same replica of what we were doing at the shop.
Yeah,
and that's good.
And that's dope, man, because like you said, like, you don't expect, and that's another key thing, like, you don't expect your people to stay there forever. And that's another thing too, like, here, like, I know everybody has an expiration date. It doesn't necessarily a bad thing. It could be
gotta go already.
No, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Some people can come in a week and I let them go after a week, because it's just like, I thought you had it, you don't have it. The vibe's not there, and it is what it is. You have that intuition as a CEO of your business, and you can do calls whenever you feel is right. But just that understanding of, like, everybody has an expiration date. It could be good, it could be bad. Most of the times, I want it to be good. Like you said, I don't necessarily want someone to be working for me forever. I mean, that's cool if you're a great coach. If you want to stay here, hey, so be it. Help me out. But at the same time, it's like, you know, if you have something higher for you to get to, who am I to stop you from that?
Yeah,
You know, you want everybody to succeed and get up there. Yeah.
That should be the mentality for sure. I feel like a lot of people don't have the best interest in their team sometimes.
Oh,
As
yeah.
far as the barbershop business goes, everybody's like hating or they don't set anything, so the barbers don't even really respect what the owner. That's why you can't be too nice. And I had to learn to kind of not be an asshole, but like set the boundaries because
You got to put that foot down, man.
You got to put the foot down. And I've always been nice, chill. It's just.
Some people take advantage of you, bro. Like I've been there.
But later, when they come across the hard shit, they're gonna be like, "Damn, Ulysses was right about this," you know. And now I'm really feeling it. I mean, who knows if you get the acknowledgement for it? But I know that they're gonna be like, "Damn, I remember he mentioned this."
Eventually, at some point, they're gonna cross.
Don't remember the name
because you already been there. You've already done that. You're the owner of your brand, your business, because you worked to get to that extent. And some people just think it's like, well, if they think it's like, well, if you can do it, I can do it, which is cool to have that mentality, but it's like not necessarily, because you got to see what you got to do to get here before you think that you can actually do it, you know? So
because trust me, a lot of people talk the talk, but when they're right there on the floor and you're really putting the work in, you're like, all right, bro, you know, you're about it, you know, you ain't say you were gonna do it because you know there's only a few, and thankfully I've had a couple in there that do grind like that, you know, and that's dope to be grinding with the people around you. But then there is people that, you know, they say they're about it and then their work's not showing it, you know. So that's just something that happens. But I mean, I try to guide them in the right direction. I try to give them all the keys, but you have to understand that you have to work with people's strengths. Sometimes not everybody's built like you, because I was listening to this thing the other day, and the guy was saying that it's his fault that he had this mentality thinking like, and I had this when I started my shop, that everybody has to be an Oscar or you.
Yeah, I feel you,
like
bro.
You want everybody to be the same, but in reality, nobody is going to be like that. So you're going to beat yourself up for no reason. And I feel like that's probably why the first 2 years were the hardest for me, because I really tried to set a standard and get these guys, but it was working to an extent. They were showing up on time. They were working more. We were developing, but
organization too, huh?
Yeah. When you have a business, it always changes. Right now, my shop is better, but a couple months ago it was you know, I felt like it was.
But you know what I think too though, it's you know, your shop's dope, man, because like I go get cuts with Vic. Shout out to Vic.
Shout out to Vic, yeah. That's the day one right
there. Yeah. He actually trained with me in the little 8-week challenge. You got, you know, he did good on it. But yeah, man, I could tell you carry your shop. You walk in and it's like, bro, I think it's one of the cleanest shops I've ever seen when I walk in. I've been to plenty of barbershops around, Tracy, Manteca. I met a lot of barbers that come to my gym. They usually cut my hair. And then I'll be like, okay, let's try a different one. And I couldn't find someone that did my hair right. And then like I asked Oscar, like, bro, who's good out there? He's like, everybody's good, but just go talk to Vic. And I was like, let me check him out. And bro, like instantly I was like, bro, this guy's good. And I could tell like the style of haircuts you guys do. Maybe the whole team kind of works like that. It was like something that like, damn, like I didn't know. I was
looking for.
Yeah, I was like, where was this been at?
It's a different, you know. I try to add what I can to it, but shit, if they could get to the point where they get better at everything, like man, I mean that's the goal, right? To get everybody, but I see the change in a lot of people right away, you know, and it's dope to see the people going out of their way and make the sacrifices. Like with Vic, the story is crazy because he started. I had a class in LA at one point, and he showed up because he got a free ticket.
Okay.
So then he showed up, and he told me that he was actually going to move back to the Stockton area, but he was living out there at the time.
Okay.
And then he won the ticket. And then I said, honestly, bro, like, his family was kind of like, oh, don't do it. Don't go to school, barber school. And then he ended up doing it after that class. And he got his license. And then when I was opening the shop, he was the first one that reached out. So then I got him on. And I'm talking about, like, this guy was just, I told him, bro, as long as you're here, you're going to be good. Yeah. He started getting better. He was in there day and night. And, yeah, man, little by little, he developed. And now, started with 0 clients. Now he's booked all the time.
Oh, yeah, I know. He's dope. He's legitimately booked, man. Like, I know that,
And he literally, he's been growing, like, every year, you know. Yeah. He got his house. He's about his car. So it's dope to see that the fruits of the labor, you know. Yeah. But now I gave him the manager position at the shop.
Okay.
So now that I told him this is another step for you, but you need to own up to the responsibility and you got to be accountable, you know, because you got to figure out the problem before it gets to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if something's going on in my shop, I better not hear about it.
Yeah.
So you figure it out.
Unless it's something like.
So it is hard. You know, it's like if you told Oscar and then he's calling you for everything, you're like, damn. Like, so it takes a minute to own up to that responsibility. And I kind of let it ride out. Now I wrote out a plan. I'm like, okay, I see what you've done the last couple months. Now this is what I expect from you from here on out. This is what I see needs to improve. And yeah, man, I mean,
You
know,
kind of
now-
just you kind of better yourself as a CEO as well, because you're working with a
Yeah.
manager now. It's like, okay, like whether it works out, whether it doesn't, whether it is, at least you're learning. You're learning with him at the same time. Okay, I need to do this better. And that's the great thing is to kind of check yourself as the CEO sometimes to be
Exactly.
like, am I doing this right? Maybe what can I do better for my team? Because sometimes your team's right. It's just sometimes you just need to go out there and understand, like, what can I do better? And as long as you guys all communicate, and that's another big thing. You say you have team meetings and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard now that I'm farther, but I try to have, you know, I tell them, reach out. I'll shoot you guys a text. I'll call you guys, whatever the case may be. And, you know, right now I have a lot of new people. So I made my trips I've been here like the last 2 weeks, every weekend. So it's been hard, but, you know, I'm able to, you know, have that one-on-one with them, talk to them. I put them under Vic, and then he does his part, and then that's just how we do it. And then now I told them we're gonna start having like little workshops on Sunday mornings when I come for like at least an hour or two, and we'll work in the areas you guys need. And it's also good because it's like a little motivation. And trust me, bro, nobody really does that with their team.
Yeah, you're showing.
It's
Like
almost
I said,
like a little bonding that you do.
exactly. It's like you're building a community. Now your team's solid, and they feel, because
vibes are
it's
good.
crazy. Because like even myself, if I don't have a team meeting, I tell people, y'all hit me up for anything y'all need. They might still not hit you up because
They
they just feel like, But if you start having these monthly team meetings or whatever, then you're like sitting down. And that's what I like to do with the group here. Like, I like to tell them, like, let's go. Like, obviously, COVID kind of had messed a couple things up for the last few months because it was kind of hard to go to places. But, like, not like, because I like to have stuff done outside of the gym just because we're always in the gym. Let's get the hell out the gym and let's sit down. So, like, we went out to eat. We all sat down. We had a great meeting talking about stuff. What can I do? And now everybody's face to face, like, let's what do you got to say, you know?
And sometimes I used to be kind of upset, like, man, I want these guys to bond a little bit more. But, man, everybody was hustling at one point. So it was hard, you know, and that was a good thing, too. When, you know, I would look around and be like, damn, everybody's cutting. And we still got people waiting, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But thankfully now within a couple of years, man, I think within the first 2 years, I was able to establish a shop to where, like, people knew what to expect. And then we renovated, and then I added more chairs. That clicked right away when I knew I was moving. I had to, you know, change the scene because I wanted something a little cleaner, more open. And on top of that, expand, you know, to get some more revenue in as well. You know, of course, you know, you don't want to think about the money if you really want to establish something right. But in the long run, like you said, you want to still make money while you're not there.
At the end of the day, it's a business, and
it's
a business, and you got to make money. That's like, it's not what drives you. It's not what made you start. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like, why do I have this if it's not help? It's tearing me down, you know?
Like, but I mean, shit. To me, it's like, okay, I'm making some money, but I'm also really helping these guys out. You know, they're getting ready for that next step, or you're helping these guys develop. So that's dope. But of course, you know, on the business end, you do got to make some profit. If not, it's like, okay, you just have this shop, and you're literally keeping it open for people to come
like
there.
like it looks cool, and it's like almost like you're just giving them a job, and it's like I'm not making anything. You got, as a business, at the end of the day, you got to make something.
Yeah. So it's hard on that end too, because sometimes people have the wrong ideas. But I mean, I have the best interest for everybody.
Okay.
Hey, taking it back real quick. Obviously, a lot of barbers know who you are, and then, I mean, I've been there, so I kind of seen like his growth, but I think a lot had to do with getting exposure through barber battles, which I think when he started cutting
barber battles,
Damn,
like rap battles and shit.
No, it started picking up. Like, I didn't know how popular like barbering was, because when he was like, yeah, I want to be a barber, I was like, oh yeah, barber, and I would just think of like the people that would have cut for $5 and shit.
La pulga shit. Like my mom, like, okay,
I'm like,
started thinking about the slaps.
Bro. So he started doing that, and then, like, bro, like I would go to these barber battles. It was dope. It was like a club, bro. Like,
Jesus, and then, like, everybody around.
Hey, but it's funny because some fucking clients, they used to be like, bro, you gotta take me. Like, they were just wanting to get.
Damn, it was tight, bro.
Drunk. I'm like, bro, we're not even up yet. You're already drunk. Like, I'm supposed to cut you still. Like,
it was crazy.
But it's dope. I mean, the barber battles. See, to me, when I started, like, when I first started picking it up, I was like, man, how the hell I want to get out there? Like, how am I gonna grow to get noticed? Because there's a lot of people that cut hair, but I had to show up. I had to be at events. I had to learn how to be social. I could see you across the room. Now I could talk to you comfortably. But years ago, I used to be like, just looking at you. And we'll see each other at every battle. But now, 5 years later, we're cool. And I was like, why did it take so long? Just the approach. I had to learn how to be better at that. And obviously, I was competing. But I think the first one that I went to was in San Francisco. And it was the way it works is there's categories. So it was the classic comb over. And
The little pompadour, was
yeah,
it the
like
pompadours?
the pompadour or something. So I did the first one. I mean, boom, and I got first place, second place actually. And I was like, shit. Like right away, I was like, damn. I guess I am good, right? So then I kept going to all of them. Every single one you could think of that was popping up, I was there.
Like in LA, like
LA,
downtown.
Fresno,
That one
San
was
Francisco,
dope, bro.
So all these
everywhere.
like top barbers were going out there trying to
Yeah.
compete.
A lot of people were at the time. There was a point where there was a lot of good guys competing, and that one there was like at least 25 people competing up there. So shit, for you to get second place, I was like, okay. And I kept going, I kept winning. So shit, I ended up with 17.
17. Hey,
Damn.
Lakers.
I ended with
17.
17. But of course, sometimes you feel like you should have got a couple more.
Yeah.
Like I did feel like I should have got a couple more. There was times where I didn't win, and I would be like mad. But the funny story too is I remember I took Vic and he won second place on his first one.
Oh shit!
But he lost all the ones after that. So he said, "Fuck these barber battles, I'm not ever going back." But I mean, it was dope to go with the team at one point.
Yeah.
You see, so now these guys are seeing me. Oh damn, he's got his team here.
Yeah.
And they're competing. So I try to do that, but I would beat myself up because these guys weren't ready for that stage yet.
Yeah.
And it is intimidating. It's like you come here and you're like, oh shit. Now, even when you guys are gonna go compete, it's like you're gonna be like, oh fuck, starstruck a little bit.
No, that's the thing I'm saying. Yeah, it's like it is. It's something new. Yeah.
So you start folding, but with me, I was just confident, and people would see it because they would come up to me after, like, bro, you were the only one up there that was just chilling, cutting, and it was dope. I even traveled to do it a couple times. I went to Vegas. I won.
Miami, right? Too.
Miami too. I went. That was
Crazy.
dope. That was one of the best ones. I won first place over there too.
Shit.
So that was the one where I was like, damn, I came all the way out here, and there was a lot of people at that one, man. That one. Then I had like a really good Dominican barber next to me, and he had this whole squad there. So Dominicans are loud.
Yeah.
So man, I was like shaking, cutting.
He was like, fuck.
And I was hungover.
Yeah.
So I was just I was like right now, bro. I was just cutting. I ended up winning first place.
Damn.
So we celebrated after, but that was a really fun time for me. And then they started to die down. So I said, okay, I'm stop doing the same shit. I need to start moving.
Did they start dying down? Like they don't.
The barber battles?
They did. I actually started doing them before the shop. So once I got my shop, I did do a couple. But the motivation to get the shop was like, you know what? I'm not gonna put these trophies up ever until I get my barber shop. And then when I first opened, that's where you would see trophies. But everybody would think like, oh, who plays soccer here?
Theo.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like fucking boxing.
Like, oh, fucking assholes. Like, this is my
Is that
barber.
the WWE champion?
He has a belt there.
A couple of belts too
that's
that we
crazy.
won. They started to switch it up, but that was a dope time. And then obviously I would use Oscar, and we won a couple times with him. One time I won 3 in the same day.
Damn.
So that time they thought it was rigged, but man, I mean the cuts showed it, So I won 3 in Modesto, and that time I was like, damn.
I didn't even know that existed, man. Barber battle. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
y'all, well, I don't even know. Do they still do those stuff like nowadays or
They
not?
do.
Well,
They're a little washed out already.
Okay.
They're not as good, but I think
had
that
its
was
peak.
that's the difference nowadays, though, man. That the social media is so much out there in the barber world that nobody wants to do those things anymore.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks they're the best, but if you put them on that floor, I guarantee you a lot of them won't do good.
And that highly.
and in a time frame.
Because there's a lot of people just staring.
yeah.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's crazy. See, I think that's what stood you out. I was gonna say I was gonna ask you too a question like what kind of made you the barber that you are now? Because like I said, I know that you're a well-known barber in the barber game, and that's obviously the answer right there. You put yourself in these uncomfortable situations that you didn't have to do. You just went out there.
You have to invest the time and the money for sure.
Exactly.
But then you started to get noticed by these people, and the dope part is that now I see guys years later, and they just say what's up to me all the time, and I'm like, damn, it's dope that I did without even thinking. I did establish myself in the barber industry. But I already know my limit, like now I'm not so much into it, but I've established something and people do look up to you and all that. So that's dope. And I try to always
I
help
respect.
people out. Yeah. And, I don't think I've done a lot in the barber game like that. I never really.
Well, because you've been in the barber game for say just a few years, right?
A few years, and I think I ventured off more into the product line. But I mean, how many people really got the product line going and successfully to keep it going? Because everybody could start it, but I already know that little journey. So I started focusing on that instead of trying to post all the time or do these videos of cutting, how to fade, all that stuff. I was like, that's not my lane. Let me focus on this. And people still look up to it, so that's cool.
So yeah, let's talk about the line, bro. So you went from the barber to the business or to barbering to the shop to like venturing out and helping all these other people develop your team, and then now it's like you got this line of was it Sharp and Dapper line,
the
right?
Sharp and Dapper collection. So I basically started. Like I told you, I literally was in the hospital. My son was born, and I had to launch that same day.
Oh shit!
So nobody knew my son was born.
It's like, come out already! Come out already! I gotta launch it.
Refreshing.
So I told my girl, don't post anything about the baby right now because I have to launch this launch real quick.
We don't want no clout for the baby right now.
Yeah, real quick.
Like, give me like 5 hours.
Yeah, so he was born and then the launch. So that was dope. You know, I always remember that. And then I started off small, just a shirt, some merch, and then I just right away knew, bro. I was like, man, I have to get better at this. And then I started off with the texture powder. That was the first hair product. Excuse me. And then I kept going. And then I had at least 3 products out. So it was a pomade, a paste, and a matte clay. But I didn't like the packaging. I didn't really like the performance.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I wasn't confident in those 3. The powder was good, but the rest weren't. And then I was investing a lot of money into the clothes, but then the clothes wasn't really selling. So I said, man, why don't I invest this into the product instead? So then after I moved, I told myself, like, I was still so tied down to cutting, even though I was already far ahead. I was still cutting clients, so I couldn't focus my time on the actual line. So then now, once I moved, I had more time to focus. So then I rebranded everything. So I changed the look. He saw the products. Now all the products were really good now. And then now I have a full hair collection. So I have the powder, the sea salt spray, which are kind of similar. And then I have the matte clay, the pomade, and the paste, but it's better formula, packaging. And then I started the beer line this year.
Yeah, I've actually ordered that. I saw you kind of. I was like, I like to support everybody and things like that. And then when I saw that, I was like, because I was getting my haircut with Vic, and then he told me about that, and then it came up, and I was like, you know, I bought that, so that's dope. Yeah, I like
so
that.
The beard line really did really good right away. So I grew my beard like for 5 months. And I was testing it. So you know, I was the face of the brand. So I'm like, I think it's important for people to see like, oh damn, he uses it and it's working, and this is how it is. Because a lot of times, you know, people support. It's not bad to support the other big companies, but I mean, when are you gonna ever meet the owner of Spice and Axe or whatever else you buy at the store? Because most of the time, people don't know what to buy. So at the shop, it was important for me to have something to direct clients to. You know, and if it's in the brand, is dope. And then now, like I told you, full beard line, and thankfully, I accomplished my goal this year of that to develop the full line for it all to be successful and to work good. And that's it, man. Just keep it going from there. Now, the hard part is when you have it, it's there.
Yeah,
then you're like, all right, let me sit back. But it's not moving. So now you got to
exactly. Like I said,
and then you got to get better with your marketing, with your ads. You got to keep investing.
And that's what I was
investing.
And that was going to say, like, there's 2 hard parts of, like, starting, I guess, a brand or something. I was going to say is everybody can have the idea, but it's creating it. So once you create it, that's hard part number 1. Once it's there, it's like, okay, cool, I got it. And now, like you said, part 2 is, I can't just sit back and be like, I made it. Like,
okay, there's no time to put your feet up.
Like now it's like, okay, well, one of your friends might buy it here and there. Now it's like, okay, you sold to whoever you sold. Now it's like, it's
like, what's next?
How can you get it to the masses? You know?
Yeah, but business is business, man. I mean, I feel like sometimes people do try to say, hey, well, like, send me one or just send it to me. And I'm like, bro, it's a lot easier if you buy it and I print out the label and send it to you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You got to support it. And then plus, I think they see how legit you are. You know, even if you hook them up, you still had the invoice and cross out what you discounted. So
exactly.
Like, oh damn,
like ain't playing.
You know? Yeah, wait, he's serious. And then they get the packaging, and it's dope to see. Like, yeah, man, just that with the line right now. Now it's like, how do I get it to that next level? So hopefully by next year, man, I'll be in the store somewhere. That's the goal.
That's for sure.
You know?
That's for sure.
Like, yeah, I want to really, you know, push it because I know it could get there. It's just a matter of getting it where I wanted to get it, and then now you start bringing in some people to help you get to that next level.
No, for sure. Products you got, man, they are legit, man. Like I said, what is it? The little powder thing for the hair. I like that. That's good. That's good stuff. I like how it just kind of keeps your hair dry, and then the beard stuff's legit. So it's good stuff, man.
It's all natural stuff for the beard. So the beard stuff is really good, and it's a kit. I mean, I like to sell everything as a kit because I think sometimes people, not just you don't only save, but that you do need all 3.
You know you're gonna get the best out of that. Yeah,
for it to work effectively. Because if I sold just individual, 20 people were gonna buy the oil, but nobody was gonna buy the wash because maybe in their mind they're like, I don't need to wash it, but you do.
Yeah.
You need to get all that extra dirt out of your face.
Yeah.
And then you add the oil, and then you add the balm. So I really thought about that, and it's been going good, man. I can't complain.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why with him, I try to give Oscar advice on his stuff and start small, but you know, if I could give him some shortcuts that I struggled with, and he takes them, he'll do well. But I did help him out with his with his Tenacity Fit logo. I told him, you know what, it's time to rebrand your stuff.
Yeah.
I felt
It's
like
when
in
you
the
showed me,
works.
you showed
It's
me
in
the
the works.
picture.
Yeah,
yeah. So I told it was for his graduation gift. So
Okay.
I told him, you know what, I'll
Yeah.
develop a logo for you, and you got to really use it. And he really liked it, and now you can tell he's more into it because he likes how it looks.
Yeah.
It's all about how it looks.
You got to be confident with what you're
Yeah.
trying to put out there.
The
Yeah.
name is dope. It's just I never really was a fan of the logo. The first one was dope, but then the second one I was like, all right, you went
Yeah.
cheap. And
Which one was that one?
The first one was the little stick figure one.
That one was cool.
What about you talking about the running? guy?
My brother, the oldest one, actually did that one for me.
Hey, so for a little bit, it's funny. We used to do like memes. So there was the one where the thing is like this, like he was out partying all the time. So we put a white cloth.
Oh
like,
fuck!
So there was one with the white glove with the. And I was like, bro, honestly, at this point, just put that. And he was getting hella mad.
At this point, take the Tenacity Fit Athletics, just put Tenacity Beer Athletics.
Yeah, or when he used to put a picture of me, like sponsored by White Claw.
Damn.
Just-
At this
Damn.
point, yeah.
So,
Well, fuck.
Horrible.
I helped him rebrand that, and now he's developing it. So what he has coming is dope.
Oh, yeah,
I
for sure.
already know what it is, so it's cool. I just it'll get there. I just think that you don't realize how much you got to invest into a brand. I mean, shoot, I had to move to really focus on it, but it also puts something in your mind like, damn, I got to make up. Now I'm not cutting at the shop. You're not making that cash flow. How can you still be efficient?
Yeah.
And then
And
go ahead, go bang.
that's it. That's
Okay.
it. How can you be efficient without cutting?
For sure. Now, real quick, because we're gonna have like about 20 minutes, like 20 minutes left. But want to make sure we get enough things. Another thing is like it's crazy. Like you did that move to LA. You got your business. You did that move to LA, and it's funny. Even before I even like knew you guys, me and my girl were already planning to move to LA because with the podcast and things that I got going on. Because prior to this podcast, I was already doing another podcast. And then I was like, man, it's always fun to have someone with you to always podcast. So that's why I connected with Oscar and started doing that. But at the same time, like I already had plans to move into LA. I have some people I know that we kind of want to do, potentially open another studio out there or something. How has that transition been, man? Just moving over there and then just like having to come out here, establishing yourself in a new place that you maybe don't really know anybody. I mean, what advice can you give people? And even I guess I would take some advice from this too as well. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's really just being confident in knowing that things are going to be fine. I mean, sometimes people try to make too much of a plan before moving, and it's like, bro, trust me, none of that's going to go as planned. Like, right now I started a new brand with my wife, so it's called Act of Faith. So it's really an act of faith that you're doing because you just got to have faith in what you're after, right? And believe that, you know what, it's going to work out because we'll figure it out. And that's what we did. It was just, we jumped out there, and I kid you not, we got there, and it was the first day, man. The house that we're renting, there was no electricity, no water, it was cold.
oh shit.
So we had to go to the city. There's no PG&E. There's no what they have here. So now everything's different.
Yeah.
So you're like, what the hell? What's this place? Like I'm used to this other one. And the first day was hard because it was like, man, we really just moved and like this is what we run into. So you get tested. So it's almost like I laugh because I already know these things happen.
Yeah.
So you have to be okay with the process. But that was hard. And then my girl's a big family person, so then, now being farther without family was kind of like, how are we gonna be okay with that? And I think she got to the point where she grew stronger mentally, and when she was able to be okay with that. But then we jumped right into the quarantine, bro, right away. So imagine like you move somewhere new and you get locked down.
You're like, oh well,
So
can't explore.
So and I was in the middle of renovating my shop, and we had a tour going on for Sharp and Dapper, like a hair educational tour, and I had a lot going on at that time. And then I think that little stop for that month really just kind of helped me get settled in with the area.
They help a lot of
the
us.
babies get settled in too, because believe it or not, they notice too when they're not in their old house, you know. And my son was crying for the first damn month, man, for real. Like at night, he just would not get adjusted. I'm over here thinking there's ghosts in the
That's what I
house.
say. That like I don't know if baby's probably checking out the ghosts. Around
Yeah, I'm like, damn. So even that's scary because you think about that shit. But I mean, after that, bro, you just start figuring it out, and you get more motivated because I mean, out there for damn sure, everybody's about their business and everybody's just moving, and it's fast paced.
Yeah.
Like it's fast paced, and then you start to learn other things. I started to learn how to run my business better from afar. I learned you have to learn how to visit your hometown.
Yeah.
I've never had to visit Stockton, but now I am.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, how can I be effective when I'm here? I have to make time for my business, my family, So you start narrowing down what's important, and I think that's dope too, because sometimes you don't realize how much time you're wasting on people, or investing your energy and time with people that don't really,
matter, yeah.
that don't matter and aren't going to be there. So But then again, I can't say, oh, don't hang out with that person because I feel like everybody teaches you something.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just part of the process. But little by little, you figure it out. And I mean, thankfully, we love where we are right now, and things are happening for us out there and at a fast rate because you are working faster.
Oh hell yeah.
And then you're just around. You can network more.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
It's dope.
Exactly.
It's dope. I always told him too, like, sometimes where we grew up is just those places that if you don't get out at a certain point, you're gonna be there for a long time. And you really got to be mentally strong out here because there's a lot of negativity sometimes, and it's not so much of people hating; it's just more so their mindset of like, well, why are you gonna do tenacity fit?
Exactly.
Oh, and they're like, there's so
much.
much fucking competition, and you're just like,
Exactly.
bro, what kind of mindset
that was
is
the
that,
same
bro?
thing when I started my gym, bro. I was
Or
like,
big fish,
I was
you
like a
know?
19, 20-year-old kid, and people were like, well, there's 24-hour fitness, there's Insta, like, and I'm just like this young Mexican kid, and like, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
I had that happen to me before, with like even family members, uncles, like
Yeah.
people like, oh, I mean, like, what's the plan? And I'm like, just keep watching, you'll see.
Yeah.
And little by little, man, and then now we're just you start creating things. The Active Faith brand literally started out there, so that was a good thing for us. And then now we're getting ready to launch soon, but that brand really took another 8 months. So imagine. My wife has a lot going on herself.
Yeah.
I have my stuff going on. So it's like, how do you come together to create something and give it energy when there's no momentum there?
yeah,
Because
Yeah.
this brand is nothing, and then you have to come together and be like, all right, you barely
Start
communicate
building
with
it.
your girl sometimes.
Yeah.
So imagine communicating on the business side is tough. So sometimes people think, oh, it's easy because they're together in this, but nah, it's not. It's not that easy.
because you both have your own ventures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just hop on each other's ventures. Like, you both have yours, but like now it's like, let's work together and make something.
Exactly, yeah. So it's tough, but right now I'm super tired. Honestly, like I've been so tired these past couple weeks. I got a lot of new people in the shop and stuff, but I mean, I always look at it like, man, this isn't gonna last forever. These are the building blocks right now.
Yeah.
Exactly,
And this is
Something
the
you'll look
grind
back
time.
at.
And you can't like you've already gotten this far. It's like, bro, there's 2 months left in the year.
Yeah.
Like, let's just kill it now,
Yeah.
and then we'll be fine. You set yourself up. You have to think ahead too, but I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes I'm out there and you make ends meet. At the end of the month, you calculate and you're like, damn, like you still got it somehow.
Yeah.
So you just find your ways, bro.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely a big challenge, but if you're willing to take on that challenge, I think you're gonna be good. And I think you guys the mindset's good. So as long as you have that, man, like trust me, like there's always gonna be room for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So for anybody out there that's thinking about it, just
Take that
don't think
active,
about it too much.
take
but
that act of faith, right?
Act of faith for real, yeah, and just believe in what you're doing.
Damn
and
right.
As long as you have something established, you guys have your guys' brands, like you'll be straight.
And that's one. And that's one thing I
takes
was
time.
I was telling Oscar, like, we talked about this, and I've even told like when I talk to certain people that I trust, I see when I brought Oscar in, I see a lot more in him. I'm like, this guy can't be here forever. Like, I know that.
Yeah.
So I told him we got to work together where we can both help each other. Like, I already got the business. Like I said, I'll be fine regardless because I've built something. I know the work ethic. But I was like, this guy, he can do something. And I was like, and I come in with like open arms and be like, let's work. Let's
Yeah.
put you.
Yeah.
And I see that work ethic. So that's why I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I even told him, like, when I go to LA, bro, like, because my mindset is like, if I go to LA, I know some people, we can like open a small fitness studio or something where we can even have a podcast room and do everything like a little studio. Just kind of that's a mindset already. And I told Oscar, bro, like we can do something out there. If I move out there, like, you obviously keep establishing yourself here, keep working on the stuff you're working on. I move to LA, put my foot down, and then I figure out where we're going to start something, and then we can reconnect and be like, hey, like, you want to come down here? Let's start working on something out here.
That's dope. And honestly, bro, it's not even far. And you could, like, if you have the opportunity to go and establish something and expand, do it, because I still have my shop here established, right?
Yeah.
Now the team is growing. I was able to add 3 chairs. Now I'm literally going to hire my 10th person this weekend. And then I'm going to leave a chair because I still got to come and cut. When I come. So I'm like, damn, I can't hire too many right now. But it's perfect. Now we have a team that's established, and then we have the new people that are taking a walk in. So now I'm accepting all that people
That's
that
good,
have been
man.
wanting to get cut. And then now out there, I'm focusing on my stuff. And I already know what I got going on the next couple of months, even into the next year, like up to March probably.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things I want to continue to do, but the ideas just start flowing, man. And it's good. You want to keep growing, because even here in Stockton, I was established and everything. And you would think, okay, wife, kids, house, business, you're good. But to me, I was like, damn, is this it?
Yeah,
like, is this it?
yeah,
Like,
you don't want to
like,
get yeah.
you don't wanna get there, you wanna keep
I
going.
reached a point like, damn, like
That's a
There's always
creepy, that's-
something. There's
that's a-
always something.
That's a creepy mindset. That's it. I'm like, that's
I'm
it.
like,
Like,
shit,
nah.
is this it?
Like,
Like,
no, the tunnel
is
keeps
this gonna
going.
be it forever? And I'm like, nah. So I got to keep going. And obviously things happened. It wasn't the reason we moved, but you know, God puts you where you need to be. So you know, you just keep going. And like I said, there's still a lot of things that are gonna be happening now with, you know, we have so much going on over there, and we're trying to really just put the right pieces together and keep developing. So, you know, next year for me, it's just, you know, I really like the podcast stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to start something. I was telling Oscar, so I'll get his advice when that time comes.
Yeah.
But
Oh, for the podcast?
A little podcast.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, yeah, we could definitely help you out. Yeah, Oscar.
the
Yeah, we can
podcast
definitely-
is dope. I've always wanted to do it. I just haven't had the right setup for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like right now, even this year, yeah, I could start something, but it's not going to be 100%. I like to do shit right. So
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
I want to do something dope, and then you could start bringing people on. And, you know, I feel like my people skills have gotten better, my speaking skills. So it's a platform that I think that you'll reach a different audience.
Exactly.
And I think with me, it's crazy because my wife has her YouTube channel, but nobody's really seen the real Ulysses, like talking to them, and you know, it's different when
This
you
is
hear
this
here.
is this is the
Yeah,
podcast.
this is
the
a little
podcast of
different.
realness, man. It's like a real conversation. It's like if I was sitting at a table and I saw somebody sitting on the other table and
Yeah.
I'm overhearing their conversation. I'm like, oh shit, he really said that.
So,
You
so
know?
the thing is, right now, like we could have been here chilling with no cameras, and people will pay to hear that conversation.
Exactly.
And sometimes I'm like, damn. Like I've had conversations with different people, and it doesn't even have to be people in business. It's just I know a lot of people. You know, I know people that have businesses. I know people that are just in the streets. Like even those people have their good conversations. So it's like it's dope to bring different people on. And
Exactly.
it's not always gonna be a person that you feel like you're never gonna be like. It could be someone you're relatable to.
Exactly.
So that's the thing with me that is dope. Now, when the time comes and I have the right opportunity to do it, I'm gonna do it, and then it'll be good. But other than that, man, just helping people out. You know, I think a lot of people need a lot of guidance.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs nowadays, and I think if I could develop something eventually that's gonna it's like a management company almost, where it's like you really get that one-on-one with people. I think eventually it's something I want to jump into as well to help people out. But yeah, still, like, I mean, I'm telling you, like the ideas start flowing. So the barbering, like I said, is what started me, but that's what built the grind.
It's not who you are now only.
Yeah.
You are something else. Yeah. And that's not exactly like I started as a trainer. That's not the only thing I am now. I'm like trying to venture out of that. I don't want people to just think, oh, Ray, the owner, savage. Like that's cool. I like that. There's a story behind it, but it's like now we want to get to the point where it's like that's just Ray Gonzalez, or that's just Oscar Benitez, that's Ulysses. You know.
So it's crazy. I talked to this older guy one time, and he told me, "Oh, I used to be a barber for 18 years, and then this guy's a completely different person at the age of like 70." And I'm like, "Damn." That clicked right there to me because I was like, I don't want to be a barber forever. You know what I'm saying? That was like, do I want to live until 70 and say I've been a barber my whole life? Hell no, I don't, because you're scratching the surface, but you don't know your potential.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta, like, I feel like everybody's talented and stuff, but you gotta really get
Put in the
there
work,
and then
man.
see what you like. Let's say he does something different. He's like, damn, I didn't even know he was. You know, he could be a really good, I don't know, volleyball player. Probably.
The little shorts,
The little shorts.
He just has never tried it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, that's an example of like, man, you don't even know what you could be good at. And then of course, like now, I used to be putting in work to get better at cutting, but now I'm trying to put in work to get better at my marketing. So I'm trying to take marketing courses. I'm trying to further my education. You know, it's like work after work.
Yeah, and that's crazy. The marketing, you talk about the marketing because you're big in social media. So like, I think the marketing is only going to benefit you even more and more. And that's
Honestly,
one
bro,
thing.
I haven't even really, I don't promote as much as I should, and I really don't use it to my full potential right now. And I just feel like I'm really busy with developing brands that it's like
It's hard to do.
it's
It's
hard.
hard to do content, your own content and marketing, and the same trying to actually be in the field working, developing things. You know, so
Yeah.
it's almost like you need a marketing team for
not
yourself.
To, not to mention the family, because
Yeah.
it's like, you know, obviously we're short on time, but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
podcast itself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So I
man.
got 2 under 2, and they require a lot of energy, and then of course my wife, like, I help her out as much as I can because she is busy as hell. Like, I'm talking about, we work a lot from the day we wake up to at night. You know, and she's a night owl. I'm an early bird,
Yeah.
so I wake up early. She's not up. I sleep, and then she's up. You know what I'm
Shit.
saying? So it's, and then in between we have the baby. So you know, giving them their energy. And sometimes I'm like, damn, it's like 11 and I haven't really got started on what I wanted to do because the kids are up and they have to eat and have to get changed. And so sometimes, you know, Oscar, I'm like, damn, he's just napping. And I'm like thinking, I'll pay for a nap right now.
Hey, you know what? I haven't been. You know, I've been.
Nah,
Like,
honestly, bro, there's no
that.
time to sleep. For
Yeah.
real.
No,
like,
there's no
they're
time
just,
to sleep.
Sometimes when people say they don't, you know, they're not doing anything, I'm like, damn, like, I can't relate. I'm like,
Or they're
just-
watching TV. Like, bro, I haven't watched TV.
I was just
in
talking
so
about this
long.
because we're planning on doing a competition, like a bodybuilding, something that's solely different, like we've never done, and it's kind of like something that's it's challenging. And like
hard.
me running the business, I'm like, man, I gotta prep. It's like I gotta be self-centered now for myself. I got a kid, I got a wife, I got the business, I gotta manage. I'm like,
6
and I
days a
started
week.
thinking like, I can't do this. I can't. Then I'm like, wait. I just got to manage my time.
Yeah.
I got to get my ass up at 4 or 5
Yeah,
so I can be
just
out of the gym by like 8 a.m. And then guess what? Now it's only 8 a.m. and I got the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It's the mama mentality for real because
Yeah.
even if you study really the way Kobe did his daily routine,
Yep.
he made time for everything because he would get up at 3, 4 a.m. He would do his shooting out, his workout. He would still have time to take his daughters to school. He would get back and, I don't know, do his thing at home with his girl, still practice, still pick them
Yeah.
up from school, and then back to the game.
Because he,
Drop like 40 and go
yeah,
home.
bro, it's
And
crazy. Yeah.
and he just kept that work ethic. That's why he lasted so long, and that's
Yeah.
why he was such a killer on the court because he's just mentally was just stronger than you.
Damn.
So-
These guys just aren't ready.
So
you know,
Ulysses trying to tell
preparation.
Ulysses trying to tell y'all that he got that Mamba mentality. So
Hey.
I
yeah.
need a
That's what-
Mamba tat.
Hey,
At
hey, I
least.
ain't gonna lie, bro. I got my calf is tattooed. When he died, bro, he died the day after my birthday, and we were going to Europe, me and my girl. And then the day after, like, cause it was my birthday, the day after he died, and I was like, we're about to get on the plane, and then we're like, everybody was like,
Kobe
I was like,
Bro,
really?
that's crazy.
so I was like, bro, like I grew up big on Kobe too. That's why I played basketball. I was like, I'm gonna go to the NBA type of mentality, and that kind of that work ethic and that same thing you're just talking about.
I think we grew up really liking him, but I think when you relate to him on the mental side, you're like, damn, this guy was even more dope.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he was even more dope after basketball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, because he was such a big icon after that, and like with his daughter, and obviously if you have kids, you relate.
yeah,
Oscar, but you'll see one day.
yeah. Put the better life away.
no.
Right now, the leash is not on yet.
Yeah, it's not on yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
yeah, establish yourself. And you'll be ready for it.
Yeah. Shit.
Hopefully.
Right now, it's hard. You can't really explain to people that don't have kids yet, but
Oh,
you know,
it seems hard already.
I mean, he has my babies right now with my mom, so he was with them.
I was
yesterday.
right up till 1 a.m.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
it's
sleep,
just-
sleep.
I was like, rock the
Yeah,
chain,
come
man.
on.
It's
Yeah.
just it's hard, bro. Especially because kids are on their own schedule. Sometimes you really got to put your life around them.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause they
and
can't take
shit
care of
gets hard
themselves.
Because sometimes shit gotta come to a stop. You're like, damn, I can't do this right now because of kids, or you start putting them first as you should. But there is stuff that has to get done with your business too.
Exactly.
You know, I'm over here trying to type some stuff and like they slapped the tablet. Like, my son will literally come and close the damn laptop.
That's
It's crazy.
under the toddler.
Bro, it's
Like,
crazy.
damn,
Like when I'm on the phone, that's crazy. So I guess every kid does that, bro. Because I'm like, I'll be on the phone or like FaceTime with my girl, like she's like doing something real quick, and then he'll be laying on me. He'll like push it off, and I'm
yeah, the little foot is pushing.
like, yeah, like it's funny.
Phone falls in the
It's
face,
funny,
yeah.
bro.
But I mean,
shit.
honestly, just I feel like you guys shouldn't, and those who do have kids and feel like, oh well, I have kids. Like, don't feel like the kids are stopping. You should never make your kids be the excuse of why
Yeah.
you're not doing something for you. Because at the end, even if you're married and all that, you still got to set yourself up, you know, and then you unite with your couple, and then you guys do something together, and that's how it works. But you know, I try to do my best to just work around the kids, and like you said, more discipline. Getting up earlier. I know, like, Oscar sends me the workouts, and sometimes, it's hard because I fall asleep late.
Yeah.
On
Oh,
any,
no, yeah,
on any
for
given
sure.
night, the babies might cry.
Yeah.
So sometimes I try to get up, but honestly, the prime time is like 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m. at times, and even 7 if I get up a little late. As long as I beat them and I do some type of exercise
Yeah.
for my own personal, like, mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm not there to get super buff or anything, but of course, eventually I want to do something like what you guys are doing to challenge yourselves and
Yeah.
get better at it.
Exactly.
And then, boom, the kids are up, and now they're taken care of, and now I do my thing. So you start knowing how to establish
Okay.
your
And real
lifestyle.
quick, I think it's funny too. I want to bring up something before we finish the podcast because me and Oscar were talking about your cousin, man. I was dying, right? Like your YouTube video, because I subscribed to your channel. Your YouTube video popped up, the one you had done latest, and I seen your cousin on there, bro. I was cracking up. I was like, Oscar, who's that guy? I was
He
like,
was supposed to come.
I was
but
like,
he
whoever that
fucking
guy
fell
is,
asleep
man,
today.
like, You gotta bring him on the podcast. It's just like I just want to bullshit with him and just talk to him.
Just bullshit with him. He's funny, man. I mean, I'm a bullshitter, most of the time too. But the thing with me, I have like dry humor.
Yeah.
I'm more like a smart ass. But I feel like I get that from my girl because my girl's a smart ass. I feel like she added that.
Yeah.
But I'm funny in that sense,
Yeah.
But I feel like he always gives me a hard time because he says that I'm like, man, you got to be how you are.
Yeah.
So people could really like you. So maybe now when people see this, they're gonna get a different perspective of me because this is me on a normal day if I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Now in Spanish it's funny too, but I've been wanting to put him on. It's just that obviously he was in Mexico and then he came, and we have a sit down video that we just did, which is pretty funny too. I haven't uploaded it, but
I need to watch that.
Bro,
the
that guy-
vlog was cool because man.
Bro, just
all day.
his energy and his way he talks, bro, is hilarious, bro. Like
Yeah.
that right there, like I don't even care what he's saying. I'm like, bro, this guy's funny. It's like us as like a Mexican guy understanding who that guy like. Everybody has one of those guys in their family, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, that guy's funny
And
as
it's
hell.
relatable because we all have that guy. So then when you hear it, and then I think when people see me talk to him, they know I'm like that because it's my cousin.
Yeah.
But it's just funny, So he didn't get up this morning, so we give him a hard time.
Yeah.
And we're gonna tell him in the next one, just hop in. Maybe we'll do a Spanish version.
A little Spanish one?
Yeah, one in Spanish
One
is
time.
funny for sure. That's that's why I told you, it's dope to be on here. Thank you guys for
Oh,
obviously having
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Oscar's been telling me for a long time, but it's making the time, and I really wanted to do it because I wanted to see what it's about because I want to do this eventually.
Yeah.
So it's dope to come, and then it was dope. It was dope, yeah.
Definitely appreciate you coming by, man. Speaking to us, like I said, I know you're super busy. You got the kids. You and your wife are busy. I mean, you live in LA. You're down here right now, and obviously it's Halloween. I don't know what's going on, party life tonight or whatever
I got a
it
couple
is.
appointments this
spooky
morning,
season.
actually. That I
Some
have to get
appointments?
to.
Okay, yeah,
some
for sure.
appointments, and then you still, like I said, you got to come back and set the example for the guys and still put in that groundwork.
Exactly.
And,
Perfect.
Literally, you come off of a drive and you just straight to it, boom,
Yeah.
and you'll still knock them out. So it's like people have to. It's good for the barbers to see that.
That's how hard work, guys. So if you want to get to a place that that a lot of people aren't there, this is why Ulysses is where he's at, because he's putting in the work. He's out there hustling. Like you said, he's got to go to work right now and cut hair. I mean, shit, and he's
1
the
hour
owner.
of sleep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's no
1 hour
stop to
sleep.
it. No stop
He's
to
the
it.
CEO of
Gotta
Sharp
keep
and
working.
Dapper. He don't got to do it, but he wants to do it. He wants to set an example. And again, guys, that's why he's at where he's at. So again, guys, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you coming by, and then that's another episode of Los Chingones podcast. Ulysses, how can they find you? What is your Instagram,
so my
YouTube?
Instagram is Ulysses_Benitez, and then the actual YouTube. I think you should type in the same thing.
Okay.
Show up, yeah, and then
We'll find it. We'll put it on the
Yeah.
bottom.
I didn't
The
really let
little
Oscar
link.
talk today. My bad.
Oh, it's all good. I like the story. I haven't heard this section.
But you know what? They might think he didn't talk, but he was listening.
No, yeah, he was like,
Taking notes. Bringing in the
"No,
little
it's good.
notebook.
It's
start
good."
taking notes.
Yeah.
He's actually watched this one after.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
Yeah, this one
Yeah.
should be,
No, yeah,
so
like I
he's
said,
really
really
good.
got that. So
Like
that's
I-
good.
yeah, like
Different
I told-
perspective, I think.
Yeah, like
you
I told
know?
Oscar, we're gonna do something different, man. We're gonna definitely this podcast is a start of something that we're working on, venturing out, and then like I said, we're gonna eventually get to some point, we meet some people that's gonna help us get to a certain extent where we're all gonna benefit from. So that's why starting with this is just networking. That's all. There
Yeah.
ain't no profit from this. It's just networking, meeting people, getting uncomfortable, getting in front of camera. So so highly, like I said, excited to see you get on the podcast and start that, because I know you're gonna do good with that. And again, guys, there's another episode of Los Chingones podcast. Make sure you follow Oscar Benitez
Oscar Benitez _12 on Instagram.
and then Ray Gonzalez.
And then Ulysses Benitez.
Exactly.
Ulysses_Benitez. Yeah.
There you go. We'll put it on there. They'll see. All right, guys. It's another
All right.
episode of Los Chingones podcast. See you on the next one.
Peace.